All aboard the Rhema Gospel Express. All aboard the Rhema Gospel Express.
Keep your faith in Jesus.
All aboard Jesus.
He's always
Rhema Gospel
there for
Express.
you. He will
Rhema Gospel Express.
through.
Rhema Gospel Express.
Keep your faith in Jesus.
Jesus.
He's always
Rhema Gospel
there for
Express.
you. He will
Rhema Gospel Express.
through.
Rhema Gospel Express.
Jesus, I need you. My soul is crying out to you, Lord. Lord God, I really do need you. My soul cries out, I need you. From the bottom of my heart.
Welcome once again to Rhema Gospel Express. Oh, yes. Worldwide, we're spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. And today we have a woman of God. Yes, I can truly say she's a woman of God because she's been through it. She's been down, but the Lord brought her back up. I'm talking about none other than Debra Price. Like to say hello, Debra.
Good morning, my brother, Elder Lockhart. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Debra. Before we talk about your songs, God has brought you a long way. As a young lady, you're older now, but as a young lady, you have really been through the storm.
I have.
Share with us, because you've been through a divorce, as many of us go through. But the thing about it is that you just didn't go through a divorce. You went through some changes while you were going through the divorce. Talk to us this morning, if you will.
Number one, I just give honor and God to honor. I give honor to Father God, because had it not been for him, being on my side, I remember my mother saying that so much, but I really understand that, because when you go through your own tests and trials, my God, and you see that, you know what, I wanted to give up. I'm just being real. But Father kept me. He kept me in my right mind, where the enemy was trying to make me go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I just thank God, because even in the midst, in my early 20s, which I'm not there anymore, I went through a divorce. I was married, and the young man had started a church in a town called Goodwater, Alabama. And so yes, we were apostolic, very strict. And, where they will call you, regardless of your age, you're the mother of the church, even in your 20s. But for some reason, he didn't want to be married. And I just been truthful. I had a very strict mother. My mom and dad both had, we had both parents. I'm the third oldest of 10 children. And mom and dad has 4 daughters and 6 sons. Now we have 5 brothers here, but it was 10 of us. So my mother just wasn't going to have her daughters just, leaving home and being all book wow. And so when my oldest sister moved out at 19, my mother declared my other daughters will not do that. You're going to either go to college or you're going to get married. Well, I was finished with school. I didn't like school. And my mother and a friend of hers picked a man for me. And we dated 3 months and got to playing around with each other. And mom found out, and she confronted us both. And listen, my mother was a little short, 5'3" lady. My children's dad, my ex-husband, 6'2", right? And my mom walked in. We walked in from a date, and she was, standing there. And my mom was that type of person that, she carried what I call a dirty Harry gun. Yes, sir. And but she didn't have it out that night. But my mom asked, as soon as we got in, she said, have you touched my daughter? And he was like, what? And she's like, did you touch my daughter? And my uncle who saw us, Lord have mercy, we didn't know. Because, we had this land and it's all, I don't know, just foolish stuff. And he said, yes. She said, so you defiled you will marry my daughter. I don't know why he didn't just say, okay, and then left, but he didn't. He said, okay, we'll get married. And my God, he had a young lady pregnant in Georgia. As I asked him before we started dating, hey, do you have any children? And he was like, no, because I had 0 children myself. And he said, no. But my God, a year later, I found out about the baby. Well, once the baby was born, I found out about him and loved his son. But the thing is, we got married 3 months after dating. When you don't know somebody, you can't make yourself love that person. And
Right,
God knows I was doing everything I could to make it, and God blessed us with our son, Eddie, 5 years later. So I had his son and I had my son, we would have both the children, around the summertime. And then he started begging for a daughter. That's the crazy thing. He would, because I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to have any more children. It's a horrible pain. How do women do it? What's wrong with you? I can't do this. But he went to my mother and he said, she won't give me a daughter. And my mom does not care how old you are in your own house. She felt like I'm your mother. You do what I say. So we had a talk and I went on and, God blessed us with 2 daughters. He wanted 1, but God blessed us with 2. Twin girls. And he was excited. He was so excited about it at first. And then this spirit of, I don't know, depression or whatever it was, but he went into this state of, I don't want any more children. I'm like, good Lord, well, you can't take them back. They would never go back into you. They came from you. Jesus. And he said, well, go home to your mom. I'm like, well, that's not right. When I left home, I had no children. But the thing about it, I understand today why things happened the way they did. But in my 20s, I'm just trying to figure out what can I do to make this work. I never wanted to be a single mom. I never wanted that. And I did everything in my power to not have that, but it didn't work because the slaps, he started with slapping me. And I mean, just for no reason, putting me down. I used to be very, very tiny. I was like 98 pounds when we got married. So being pregnant with our twin daughters, I mean, I wasn't even a big person. And, but the mental, the emotional abuse, that kind of stuff is really, really hard on your body when you're pregnant. And then he also fought me. So he fought me in front of our boys.
He right? What?
He fought me. He beat me in front of the boys. See, this is the thing. And I'm not trying to bash my ex-husband because now I understand these were demonic spirits that was in him that was causing him to act the way he was acting because he's very apologetic because for what happened. But the point of the matter is that one evening he came in and this was the worst fight of all. Was where, and it wasn't where we was fighting and I'm fighting him back. No, I didn't do that. But he came in one day and he didn't make the money that he thought he should have made. And you know how it is, you take it out on the person that's closest to you. That was me. Because I was not going to allow him to be beating up on our son. He was a little person. And so he came in and I remember this, I had cooked some, he didn't like leftovers at that time. So I had cooked our food, but I had some leftover food as well. And he came in and he saw that and he threw all the food on the floor, on the ground in the kitchen, on the floor. And he was angry. So I knew, okay, I went back into the bedroom and locked the door. I was on the phone at that time with my beautician. And he knocked the door down, came in, knocked the door down and jumped on me and beat me up. I mean, beat me up. I'm pregnant, and so
You pregnant again?
No, I was pregnant with this is when I was pregnant with our twins.
Okay.
And so our sons were in the bed. When I say our sons, his oldest son and my son, they were in the bed, and we had a little small house. So and the door was open. I never closed my children's door. And they saw him. He dragged me out of the bedroom and threw me on the floor. And I was on my belly, and he sat on my back. Now remember, I'm 5'4", he's 6'2". And he said to my boys, "This is what you do when you're a woman, get out of line." And I'm like, get out of line. I'm thinking he just didn't want leftover food. Oh, no, he really, it was whatever happened to him at work, he took it out on me. Anyway, he was beating me up, and he was bouncing on my belly from the bag, letting me know. He said, "I don't want them. I don't want the children. I don't want them." I'm like, I couldn't change that, So the boys were sitting there, laying in the bed, and they saw it. And when he finished, he told me, go and clean yourself up. And I just went in the room and just started crying in the bathroom, just trying to figure out, Lord, what is going on? Because we're this way at church, right? Because he was trying to build a church. And look, I'm his singer. I'm the praise and worship team, And
now, was he supposed to be the pastor?
Yes, he was starting a church. And yes. So we were one way, we was this way at church around people, holding my hands and, all this and that. But at home, it was a totally different personality, right? So, and at that time, I knew that demons were real, but I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. I was just thinking it was me. When you hear a person say something's wrong with you, you're the reason I'm going through what I'm going through. And if you're not strong enough, and God, you would start thinking that. And at that time, I was just trying to figure out, how can I make this marriage work? What can I do? And I remember him saying, I asked him, I said, what did I do to you? What have I done to make you hate me? What did I do? And because we were only married, this was like because my son was 5 and his son was 7. So and so this was 5 years later when God blessed us with the twins that he wanted, and with the daughter that he asked for. So we were only married 7 years, and so I don't know. I just after that he explained. He said, "I don't know why I'm doing this." He said that, "I don't know why," but I knew this. If I stayed, he was going to end up killing me. I knew that.
And this is one of the things that so many people are going through, and they try to make things work, and it keeps happening over and over and over, and they don't know. The word says that how can two walk together unless they agree?
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that's very important is for us to take off the mask. Be who God created you. But if you don't know, just because you go to college, just because I've been called into ministry, it takes time.
Yes.
For you to grow. Now, out of all of this, you went through depression. You even had to go into a home to stay. Not a foster home, but
no, I went to a shelter. This is what's amazing. Okay, so I didn't get to see Angel alive, right? So Angel only lived 3 days, but I was having such a hard time. I didn't know Angel had went back to glory. I was my doctor, had me in Sylacauga, but they flew my girls to Birmingham. So I'm there trying to get myself together. He's like, "I can't release you." So I stayed in the hospital 7 days. He said, "I can't release you. Your body's not reacting right. Something's going on." And I'm like, "I've got to get up there," because he kept calling saying, Angel's dying. The girls are dying. The girls are dying. You need to get up here. Well, what can I? How? And when you have twins or you have a cesarean, that's how I was cut open. So the doctor would not release me, and he didn't even want to tell me that my baby had passed. No, the doctor didn't. He didn't, because I don't know what was going on with my body. But finally, he did share with me because, well, my children's dad came back to the Silicaca hospital, and he's like, I need to tell her what's going on. So the doctor came in, and he said, okay, one of your babies passed. And on top of whatever was going on with me, I'm telling you, I thank God he kept my mind. So my doctor put me on depression pills. Well, I can't take medicine. I don't do very well taking medicine. I really don't. And so he said, I need you to take this. I need you to promise me that you would take this. And I remember him telling my children's dad, he said, do not, when I release her, do not take her to Birmingham. Take her home and let her rest. She needs to recoup. That man brought me to Birmingham, had them to go pull out my baby's dead, frozen body. Let me tell you something. She had bruises, they had little, where they had put the IVs in her head. She's a little bitty something. She was like, both my girls were hand babies, and they had shaved her head, and because they tried to bring my baby back, and you could see where they were pumping her chest to try to bring my baby back, and all that was on me, thinking, you know what, my baby suffered because they were trying to give me the opportunity to see her. So that was beating me up, and it was beating me up that I should have left him way before now, but I was afraid. Okay, so when we got there, I'm telling you, in my 20s, I looked so dead. I looked like the dead woman walking, right? I just looked horrible. I was so dried up. Jesus, I was just, my spirit, everything was dry, just dead. Even the word talks about while we're living, we're a dead man walking. It's like we're dead. Your soul is just dead. I've seen people like that, so I know how to pray for them now. But anyway, we get there. They bring my baby's frozen little body. Her little hand was still sticking up, and oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus. And so we went on to get her funeral and everything arranged. And the hospital paid for everything. Jesus, they paid for my daughter's burial. They paid for everything. And when we got back,
sounds like the Lord.
He took care of everything. And let me tell you something. When we got back home, I'm telling you, oh Jesus, it was so difficult, so difficult. But by the grace of,
let me ask you, and out of all the hurt and pain that you've gone through, God brought you out of this. And we have a few minutes.
In my right mind. Hallelujah.
He brought you out in your right mind. Now, how did he bring you out where that you could feel out of no longer depression, no longer hurt, no longer pain? But one of the things about it, you started forgiving. How did you go from all of that to forgiving?
It took some years. I'm just going to be real. I thank God that he kept me, because I walked around angry. I walked around bitter and angry at my children's dad, because I didn't want to be divorced. I didn't want to be single. But because of the church that we were a part of, you could not be a divorced man and be over a church. So it had to be that Deborah had to go so he could have what he wanted. Well, when I left, they knew that I was in a shelter. His family was calling me, and I of course, well, my family was letting them know, no, Deb, my oldest brother, who's going to glory now, he brought me to Birmingham. He said, Deb, we can't have this. We can't have this. He said, he took me, he said, because I wanted to be where my daughter was. Okay. 3 weeks after burying Angel, I just packed up a small suitcase with my children's clothes and, a couple of changing outfits for myself. I left everything else. I came to Birmingham. I had called a shelter, and they had room for me, mainly because this was a death and life situation. This man was not happy with me, but I understand it was a spirit, the demonic spirit in him, that hated to see what God could do through this girl right here. So let's take her out. because there was many accidents, that things that would happen in our home, where the car blew up one Sunday, where, listen, there was this insurance lady that came to our home. We were way back in the country, right? The mailbox was way. Hey, we were with the snakes and the turkeys, the watcher. I am so serious. We were back in the woods, and that was no problem because I'm a country girl. But I couldn't walk anywhere. There was just houses here. But I remember this insurance lady coming to the house. And she came. I was there. I was at home. So he said, "Well, you go ahead and go get us something to drink." And I'll go in the kitchen, trying to do whatever I could to make him happy and get them something to drink. And so pretty much he didn't want me in the conversation and the insurance. So the young lady, when they finished everything, and she left, the next day, how about she comes back to the house? And she says to me, I almost want to cry because, but I realize I won't give the enemy that anymore. All right. The enemy is invisible. He doesn't even have a color. But she came back and she said to me, I said, oh, did you need anything else? I said, my husband's not here. She said, no, I'm here for you. She said, let me tell you something. Your husband's increased your insurance. She said, I'm concerned for your health. I'm like, what? And listen, I was 24. So I was really green. Listen, my mom was very protective, overprotective of her girls. Okay. So I was very green, didn't understand. I'm like, wait, what? She said, he's increased your insurance and I'm very concerned about you. And I think you need to get away. And I was like, oh, I never mentioned that to him, that she came back and told me that. I went to my mom. I said, Mom, he's trying to kill me. I told her what happened. My mom gave me her gun. Jesus. Look, I'm shaking. I'm like, Mom. She said, if he touch you again, I'm like, oh God.
Now, wait a minute. Wait.
No,
Let me. Now, your mom was a spiritual woman.
My mom was a woman of God, but my mom was a fighter. She said, I'm like David. I got David's spirit in me, and I will kill if I have to. Thank God Mom was never going to prison, never going to jail. Jesus. But she gave me this big old dirty, hairy gun, and I have very small hands, but and I was she put it was in the lock box, and I was shaking like a leaf. I'm like, Jesus. Anyway, I never pulled it out. My mom came back the next morning, took it back from me. She said, Jesus, he'll take that gun and kill you. She said, just give it here. And really what it was, my dad made my mom come get it. He found out about it. But anyway, I told my mom about it, told my brothers about it. And like I said, after we buried our daughter, my brother brought me to Birmingham to be with my girls. And I had no family here. And I left the cars, I left everything. And the shelter took really good care of me and my son and my daughter. And when I tell you, Miss B, my Lord, I thank God for Miss B. She's gone to glory right now. But Miss B was this older lady that took care of the shelter, and I wouldn't eat. I would not eat. And it's not like I was trying to starve myself, but I don't know. I listen to James Cleveland every day. Nobody but Pastor James Cleveland every day. And I would catch the bus. Listen, I didn't know what a max bus was. I had never been around this kind of stuff before. So I had to learn how to use the ticket to go from the shelter to the hospital every day. And some days I would be so confused. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't even remember how to get back to the shelter. Right. So they knew what was going on. They didn't put me out. Miss B told me this. She said, because I wouldn't eat. I ate crackers, Ritz crackers, and drunk coffee. And she said, you will not dry up and die in my presence over no man. She said, I am 60, whatever she told me she was, and I will not let that happen. She said, if anybody see Deborah not eating, if you see her drinking my coffee and eating my Ritz crackers, let me know. I'm putting her out. I was like, what? That woman saved my life because I wouldn't eat. I would not eat. I'm thinking I'm staying focused. I was thinking, hey, I'm fasting. She said, you through fasting. You're fat. No. If you don't eat food, I'm putting you out. I thank God she did that because I really was drying up. I really was. Oh God, I was messed up. But by the grace of God, the hospital. I had 3 doctors telling me that Miracle's going to die. That's my other daughter's name. They said Miracle is, she's not holding food. She got green coming out of her body. She won't eat. And what do you want us to do? I'm like, Jesus, save my daughter. Man of God, I heard this in my spirit. What do you want, daughter? I said, I want my family. I want my family, Lord. I've been fasting and praying for my marriage. I'm fasting and praying for my children, for my daughter. I want my family. You know what I heard? I don't make anybody love you. I don't make people love me. Jesus.
Amen. Now, hold on just for a minute. We're talking to a young lady who has been through the storm. What you see her now, this is not how she always looked. This is part 1 of the session. We're going to come, there's going to be a part 2 because she had her head down in a state of confusion, not knowing what to do. But on the second half, she's going to share with you how she was able to pick her head up, how this woman helped her change her life,
Jesus.
how God did a miraculous miracle in her life. Be back with us for part 2.
Transform me to the woman you call me to be, Lord. Father, take over me. Help me be who you call me to be. Oh, transform me, Lord, to what you created me to be, Lord. I'm tired of doing things Deborah's way. I'm so tired. I no longer choose to be that way. Hey, oh, transform me. Transform me to the woman you call me to be. Father, take over me. Help me be who you call me to be. Transform me, Lord, to the woman you call me to be. I'm tired of doing things my way. No longer choose to be that way. Oh yeah, yeah. Listen, y'all. Ooh. Break the mold and make me new. Cleanse my soul and make me just like you. Less of me and more of you. Lord, my God, I put my trust in you. Through the darkness, be my way. Set me free from heartache and pain. Break the chains and set me free. See, just like Daniel, I fully believe. To the woman you call me to be. Father, take over me. Help me be who you call me to be. Transform me, Lord, to the woman you call me to be. I'm tired of doing things my way. No longer choose to be that way. Hey, Lord God, Lord, my King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Prince of Peace, the one whom I adore. Daily dying to myself, so there will be no more of me left. I ask your Father to mold me and make me, reach way down and shape me, remake me. So when I'm singing before your people, they don't see me